Check them out. Lax Night, the premier box lacrosse tournament in all of North America. Check it out September 18th through the 21st. We'll see you there. Thanks so much to all our sponsors. Without them, this wouldn't be possible. Please support your local sponsors. CBI cables, what the pros use. Plug them in, whether it's lighting, electrical, audio, or internet cables. The B-Dry system. Get a hold of Brandon Davis. Water in your basement, B-Dry. The Utica's finest barbershop. Get a hold of Jordan Baldwin or Kevin Beach on Book C. Duratagre for all your new plumbing, irrigation, and renovation needs. Family landscaping. Make your neighbors green with envy. Get a hold of Russ. Nora's Candy Shop for the famous turkey joints or just some fudge or other sweets. Stop by Nora's. Utica Club Lounge for the party before, after, during the game. Utica Club Lounge where the Yeti hang out. CRM, Commercial Rental Management. Get a hold of them for all your commercial building needs. Robert A. Dix Insurance. We all need insurance. Get a hold of Bobby Dix for your insurance. Liberty Affordable Housing. New to the area? Get a hold of Liberty Affordable Housing. See what they can set you up with. Eric Kiefer, LUTCF, local representative and friend of the Utica Yeti. Fay Farms. Where's the beef at? Jimmy Fay's got it. Get a hold of Fay Farms for all your beef needs. Master Vito Hyundai. Make your move to Master Vito. The Yeti have. Utica Mac Incorporated. Get a hold of them for all your tractor and big hauling needs. Brand Y Distillery. Let Jimbo know that the Yeti sent you. We love Brand Y spirits. Hale Transportation. We'll do the driving, you do the hanging. Get a hold of us for all your transportation needs. Niscoba, the men in blue, keeping you safe. Clinton Tractor and Implement Company, the Caledona family. Check them out. Lax Night, the premier box lacrosse tournament in all of North America. Check it out September 18th through the 21st. We'll see you there. Thanks so much to all our sponsors. Without them, this wouldn't be possible. Please.
Hello, everybody. I accidentally unmuted myself the first time and then fixed it again, but we have Paul Necker as always and Lily Barra. What a pleasure it has been to watch you. So when did you start playing box?
I started playing box my sophomore year of high school.
Okay, and tell that story again because that was an awesome story.
So I was just at a tournament for my little brother, and we were playing catch, and the LaSalle coach came up to me, and he was just like, "Do you play goalie?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Do you want to play?" I was just like, "Sure." And then I've been playing ever since.
Played ever since. I met you playing for Onesquitha, or I always screw that up. The Smoke. I'm just going to say Coach J Lax in the Smoke. And I used to go down and watch you guys. You played with my nephew Lucas for a while, and it was a blast to watch you. So tell us a little bit about your lacrosse career outside of box.
Outside of box? So I'm graduating high school this year. We've won sectionals and stuff. And I'm going to go play at the University of Akron.
We won sectionals and stuff like it's, nothing. And congratulations on the D1 going to Akron. That is amazing. So essentially, you played a lot of box with, I always call him, Lax Jitsu, but that was just me. So Coach Matt or Coach J, which is what I know most of the guys call him, is Coach J. But how cool was it to play for him? Because anybody who doesn't know him, he is uniquely dedicated to box. Like, you will never meet anybody like him, and he loves box as much as me and Paul, and he's a goon for it, just like us. He's all in. How cool was it to play for him?
It was really fun playing for him because he's known me since I was a little kid. So it was just nice because he always played with my little brother. So then he finally started playing with me, and he was very supportive of me playing and was thought it was the coolest thing ever that I was playing with him. So it was just it was overall just a great experience. It was really fun just to be able to play for him, for Smoke, and then be supportive all the way around with my team, and then have to live my little brother with me. So
your little brother, hang on, let's just get this out of the way now. Your little brother is 5 inches taller than I am. How tall is your little brother?
It's 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah, so he's all of 4 inches taller than me, and it's your little brother. Now, he is not, he probably was your little brother up until a certain point. You actually got a nice nickname for him. Why don't you go ahead and let's throw it out there online?
His nickname is Short Stack.
Short Stack, who is, like I said, almost, a half a foot taller than me. But yeah, no, I've been watching you and Liam play for a while, and it is a absolute blast. So, Paul, when did you first get to see Lily play, and kind of give us a talk about how that started? Because you scrimmaged against him, I think, was the first one, right? And I think I was down there filming.
Yeah, as far as what's up, Yeti. Yeah, matter of
Oh, yeah,
fact, you
sorry,
were
we
there
didn't
to
start all
film it.
that.
What's up, Yeti Nation? Miss Lily, welcome to Yeti Talks. Greg Beecher, thank you for doing what you do. Where did I meet her? For the smoke came up to play the Tri-City Sunday
That's
team.
right, it was still Tri-City.
It was Tri-City back then, and we put together our Sunday clinic with the high school kids, and I had talked with you, and you had been talking to Matt at the dojo there, and we got talking, and they brought up two teams, and we had two teams. The younger boys played. Lily, did you play in the first game or second game?
Played both.
You played both, okay. But anyhow, as far as we had an opportunity to put together, our kids just started playing. These guys had a little bit of experience, an opportunity in the box, and I seen her walking in with goalie stuff. And again, like any coach, you see a young lady with goalie stuff, that intrigues. And knowing that we was going to pursue the women's game and get that growth going. We had an opportunity with her brother playing with the junior Yeti to get her some games with the junior Yeti, and foresight is she's going to be running with the lady Yeti at some point, running with both. But how I met her,
I'm pretty sure it was both, right? When she was playing for a while.
Yeah. Well, and last summer she got an opportunity. She wasn't playing in goal all the time. She was out on the floor banging hips with everybody. We had a chuckle beforehand. She's like, "Oh, I remember when I dropped that guy." I'm like, "Well, do you remember what you did to that kid in Rome last year?" And she's like, "Oh yeah." It's a great, because we were talking about, some girls, enjoy it's a full contact sport, and that's what we're trying to teach. It's box lacrosse. It's not men's lacrosse. It's not women's lacrosse. It's box lacrosse.
It's the only sport that I know of where the men's rules and the women's rules are identical, especially when it comes to contact. Love to see it. Lily, how cool is it for you? So you grew up playing essentially with boys and with young men, and then to get to play with women. What was that transition like? And oh yeah, by the way, the women you're playing with happen to be like Olympic level teams, in case nobody knew that.
Right.
It was interesting because I was so used to playing with the guys and how the guys interact with each other, and it was just going to a completely different side of things. But I thought it was really fun. I think it was I was very eye-opening experience to see the different, it's the same game, but it's different playing for a guys team versus a girls team. So it was also nice just be surrounded by girls, because I'm normally the only girl. So, but I think it was really fun.
And you got the first W in Lady Yeti history.
I got the ball from that.
You got it. And you held the trophy for Laxney. That, as far as I'm proud. I love watching your dad watch you guys play. It makes me feel good. And that's what it's all about. And continue doing what you're doing. We got more games coming. Get ready, enjoy your summer, enjoy your senior end of the year, and congratulations on all the accolades. You may not have been a starter, but you want to what? Now you get to go knock the glass window wide open and say, "Here I am, Lily Barra." Now my question is, I'm listening to Greg. Greg, I'm sure pronounced it correctly. You said Barra. I say Barra. What is it? So I know what to say from now on.
It's Barra.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
See, Paul?
Woohoo!
He doesn't get a lot of these. We definitely got to give him his props there on the pronunciation. I'm no scholar by any stretch of the imagination. I probably just heard it pronounced that way once and was like, I'm going to stick with that. But
most people pronounce it Barra, but it's Barra.
Yeah.
It's Barra.
I should start with that.
Greg, they played a fantastic, as you know, the junior Yeti, Lily and I forget his first name. Last name was Liam. Chen. Do you know his first name?
Chen, the other goalie.
Yeah, I forget it. What was it, Lil?
Kai.
Chen played the other.
That's right, because Bella thought it was Kai the goalie from the kid that's in the YouTube chats all the time. So she thought it was, that Kai the goalie. And I had all the highlights here, but it's not plugging into my other computer, so they're just sitting next to us right now.
It happens. But they split some time, and they split the time, and both of them played fantastic, but Lily was on top of her game. She was kind of down a little bit because she made a highlight save, and that's box lacrosse is what it is. It's so fast.
Get several.
Yeah, and you played a fantastic game, and you guys got the first W of the year, and feel proud. Definitely, it's great.
I got to ask you though. So, as a goalie, you guys have the unique position where, like, you don't go every other shift. You're either out there or you're not. So, in a game like that where you don't get the start, what is it that you do mentally to keep yourself kind of ready for that?
I just make sure I'm like really into the game, and like I don't get nervous before games. And if I do, I like try to think of it as excitement. So then I get like excited to play the game. And if I'm like playing, like if I'm excited to play, then I just play better. So I just make sure like I'm watching the game, I'm seeing where they're shooting, and I'm just ready to go in when it's my turn.
So you're one of those, if you're smiling, watch out. You're having a fun time. It's going to be a long day for the offense.
Mm-hmm.
I do love that. It's one of the things that I love watching. So, like, watching the junior, I have not had a chance to watch the juniors a lot lately, it seems like. But, man, I mean, that offense is flowing. And I honestly think what gives that credit is having goalies, to shoot on. You got to have good goaltenders in practice. What's it like getting shots on from these guys all the time? And then you kind of, like, what was that difference like? Just talk about the different levels of shots, because you bounce between levels all the time. Like, you'll be playing with adult women, you'll be playing with some adult men. How do you adjust to that?
I just do the same thing I always do. I always just do the same. I step the same. I do everything I'm supposed to do. And it doesn't matter if I'm facing harder shots or easier shots. It's practice how you play. So then I practice how I'm going to play.
So it's all muscle memory and getting in there and knowing where you are in the net. What's the secret to actually knowing where you are? Is it checking the pipes, or are you picking stuff out in the field for markers, or how do you actually set up the markers? So, like, how do you know where you are to know where your steps are accurate? Or you just feel it? You're a gut instinct kind of girl.
I know it.
Oh, you know it. Don't even feel it.
My post, and then I know where I am on my post, and then I'm always walking the same mark, so I just kind of know where I am.
Gotcha. I love it.
And one thing she had said, Greg, that we had noticed, I'm not sure if I think we had talked about it, the control of the rebounds. You do an awesome, you were disappointed on that one because you want to know why? You do a great job controlling the rebound and getting that outlet pass out there. So as far as it is noticeable. So is there, in regards to, planting the stick, is it something to that you do, the certain style? I notice you don't go down a lot. As far as down to your knees, I see a lot of other goalies. Why would you? You're giving up the upper side, huh?
Yeah, and my stick's down there. My legs are there. I move my legs and get my stick there. I don't need to get my full body down there.
Exactly.
Let up that rebound, then I'm not in positioning to face the next shot.
Very. Honestly, that right there is something that some kids are going to be able to take something from that. The young lady that you were talking to, hopefully just a little tip like that makes a huge difference, because you, again, me and Greg had mentioned it. You do a fantastic job controlling rebounds. So keep doing what you're doing on that concept.
Yeah. No, and I like the comment, the defense needs a good voice, like being the leader back in the net, kind of shouting things out. That is a huge thing for defense. How long did it take you, or you seem pretty spunky, so I'm guessing right out of the bat you had no problem shouting orders, or was that something you had to kind of get used to?
I had no problem.
Yeah.
It also helps me because it keeps my mind in the game.
Absolutely. Well, you're the quarterback. You're seeing everything. And once again, I've been on the bench listening to you. You're on the bench talking to the guys. Involved in the game when you're not in the game is being a huge aspect. When you get your shot to get into the game, you're mentally focused, what the scores are, keeping it close, keeping your post, all that good stuff. Getting them rebound passes out.
Yeah. Do you know Rob DiGiovanni? He played for the Collar City Kings there. He was like local Albany goalie there. He's a little bit older, 60 something, so you probably never played with him, but he never drops. He looks like a cobra when they shoot on him. He swells up somehow. Like, I don't know how he does it, but he's very, very position oriented. Like, he knows where he's supposed to be, steps, and it's just a very interesting style. How is that something like not reacting almost and overreacting. That's the biggest thing. Watching goalies when somebody's throwing like 6 or 7 fakes, I would lose my mind. I'd be biting on every fake and like just look like the flailing arm guy from the car dealership would be my impression. How do you kind of keep eyes on that? Is it something you have to do, or what is that?
Well, I don't pay attention to fakes. I pay attention to the ball. So if they're faking, the ball is staying in their stick. I'm not watching where their stick's going. I'm watching where the ball is going. So once the ball pops out, then I move towards it.
Ah, so you're actually watching that pop out. That's something I never actually even noticed. I just assumed you goalies were watching the head of the stick all the time. But OJ just texted me. I was wondering where he was at the beginning. He is sleeping, so we will get him on at the tail end of the show for our OJ minute. But yeah, OJ the dude out of Tech Lax, he fell asleep on the couch, and that's funny too because I think he's 3 hours earlier than us, so he took like a 5 p.m.
hiatus.
Yeah, lucky OJ, man. That sounds good. So how far of that Massachusetts trip wasn't too bad. Now, how many times have you guys played this Paper City team? Because you guys scrimmaged them last year or no?
I'm not sure, but like me and my brother have played with them a couple times beforehand.
That's right. So Matt played because he played for their senior team and he was helping coach the juniors team last year.
Mm-hmm.
So what was it like to get to play against some of those guys that you played, with the year before?
It was funny because like I understood how they shot. Like there's a couple kids where I was like, oh, I remember you from before. So it was nice. Like, I don't know. It was just good to like play against them because I also haven't seen them in forever. So it was just a good way to like reconnect and see everybody.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of this. You run into certain people, you see guys at tournaments, you see people at like all these events. Like Lax and I is just as much of a reunion for me. You get to see all these people you don't see all the time as it is really the playing. It's really the most fun part about it. Like Paper City, kudos to them. So that is one thing. Those goalies had never played box lacrosse before. That's insane. I was very impressed with that kid. It's hard to just jump in there. Kudos to him. Nobody's
There was
great.
a young lady. There was a young lady at the end there. That was a young lady that jumped in.
Oh, with the white helmet, the shorter one. Okay.
The shorter. Yeah, she was a young lady as well. That they're also trying to get the women's program up and running. So kudos to Paper City on that as well. Talking to Charlie, and I forget all the names, and I apologize. They're doing all the right things. They're doing great things up there. They got a solid program and a decent arena. I like the small. Again,
I love the feel.
Yeah.
If they could we got lucky. It was nice temperature. Lily, what's it like to be in those sweat boxes? Like in that arena in 100 degrees, that's got to be brutal.
It's hot.
Yeah, with all the goalie gear on too. No, thank you. What is the biggest thing with turf and concrete though, from the goalie perspective? Talking about Fitzpatrick Arena, is I really wonder. I mean, how the bounce has got to be completely different.
Yeah, the bounce is completely different. So I played on concrete a good amount, so I understand how it works. But the bounce is completely different. It spins a completely different way. On concrete, it bounces a lot higher. So it's
faster.
It's more important to face like bounce shots beforehand playing on turf and concrete, so you understand how it's like working before you actually play.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and that was definitely, being able to control rebounds is huge when you're playing on concrete, because again, that ball, it hits the goalie, it's got a whole different spin on it there, gets out of there. How many times in the senior game did they get the rebounds? Because I don't think we were quite ready for being a concrete. Some of those guys have never played on concrete before, and
especially
to understand
some of the young field players that have never played on concrete, that's got to be crazy.
But like Lily said, learn those bounces. Don't bounce it so far out thinking it's turf and gonna, it takes a whole different trajectory, and that makes it difficult. That's for sure. But it makes for great learning. Because there's a lot of rinks that have concrete. You're going to probably see more rinks with concrete than turf.
Yeah. I don't know. As a
spectator, it's now starting to grow. Yeah, it's starting to grow turf-wise.
But as a spectator, I'm wondering what's better to watch, because that ball is very unpredictable on concrete. And with the juniors, those crazy kids still dive as much. The seniors don't quite dive as much, but even that, they still all dive across the concrete. I cannot wrap my head around that for the life of me, but they do.
Lily, speaking of diving and everything, what is obviously, you got two styles of diving. You got the dive across concept, or you got the lift off concept. What do you think is the hardest to, as far as make a save on those ones if you're as a goalie?
I personally, for me, I think lift off, because I play a higher crease, so they can go over top of me. So I just take a step back. I'm pretty good laterally. I can get over quickly for the dive. So I think it's the lift off.
So you play off the line a little bit more than more of a goalie, field goalie arc, or it just angles. You understand the angles concept, and you're breaking it down angle wise. Know when to get in, know when to get out.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Well,
nice.
And it's not quite as high. I mean, you're not Dylan Ward level where he steps out to the top on like every shot. You've got that modified.
No. She gets out there sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. Ward really, that guy is always like 5 steps out. It seems like. I would say you're a little bit closer to Dobson style, where the guy for the Swarm, he most of the time he stays out and he will step out for the shot, but he doesn't set himself quite as far out. It almost looks like he's baiting him or whatever with the opportunity. But yeah, no, I would be a terrible goalie. I'm sure you've had those games where you get throttled on and they're scoring a bunch of goals. How do you get over that hurdle? Because for me, that's always the biggest thing, is like I would just be so defeated. I don't know how you do it.
Don't think about the last shot. I just think about the next shot. And then it's weird, but in my game, I play a little in my head, I play a little game myself. So it's like how many I let in versus how many I stop. So I do my percentage in my head. And if that's not working, then I completely abandon that and just go to my focus on the next shot.
A lot easier said than done.
Right? It's nice to be young.
Yeah. All right, Paul, I got to ask you, though. So the biggest thing, I mean, how cool is it for you as you get to watch this young lady but play with her brother, and then they're playing against, some of these world teams? Why don't you just give a run off of some of the Olympic level teams that the Lady Yeti have gotten to play against?
As far as that Laxney, those type of teams, I think we played Ireland last year, didn't we? I think it was Ireland.
I can't remember. That's why I don't want to say anything.
As far as all honesty, Greg, the amount of games that have gone, we played Ireland. Might have been the year before, but as far as last year, to watch where the girls came from, the exhibition game, where there was one big hit and the crowd went nuts and loved it and everything, to where they are now. We got our first win. My daughter to get the first goal of the lady was very special for me to be on the sideline. It was very special to see Lily be getting that very first W. And I know that she had spectators that were cheering her on as much as I know I was cheering all the girls on. To see the level of confidence and Lily and the rest of them, it's inspiring, because again, they're coming from a sport that is non-contact, and that most of them have never, unless they played hockey, never really geared up. As far
it's
as
hard
through
to understand a helmet. So Lily, when you first started, you kind of got into box, but did you play anything with a full face helmet? Because I find the older kids are, when you put a full face helmet on them for the first time, it really throws some kids off. I never thought about it because I always grew up with one.
I always played goalie in field.
Goalie.
Yeah, so you've always had one.
Had helmet on.
This is in 1932.
Yeah, you're smarter than that. Well, I just didn't know, because if some people, they don't, and then it's such a weird thing. They see the cage forever, because I'm sure at this point in your life you don't see those bars at all.
No.
Yeah, not a chance. It's so weird, but you put a helmet on somebody that's never played before, and they're like, I can't see anything, and it's like, what do you mean?
The sweat, their hair is in their face, Well, and then you got rib pads on. They don't wear gloves, so now you got gloves on. But just to see the evolution of what these girls are able to do because of their athletic abilities is pretty awesome. watching, thank goodness for the transition of the 1970s stick, the women's stick, to the modern women's stick, because at least the way they're formed now, there's a little bit of a bag.
I can at least kind of throw it, because I can tell you what, the cheap stick I had for my daughter that I tried to throw was awful.
It was a
tennis 1,000 foot over the top. I couldn't catch anything. Then Armor Mesh hooked me up with the Sweet Powell stick, which was amazing. It's tied nice. Even I can kind of hone that one in and throw it.
But because of those sticks being the way they are now, these girls are picking up box sticks, we're going to call it. It's not men's, it's not women's, it's box. They're picking up box sticks. They're tossing these things behind the backs like nothing, like they've been playing with gloves on and everything, because, hey, the athletic ability, and now they've practiced with it. We're going, I think, 5 weeks. This week will be our 5th week going. And we got a game. We got something lined up in Thousand Islands. We're going to be playing the Thousand Island Spirit team that they put together. The same day as we're playing the Thousand Island Spirits on the 28th. So I'm thoroughly excited about that, because I know the talent level team that they're bringing, I've been told, and I'm excited to see.
If it's anywhere near their Lax Night team, you guys better be prepared. They had a lot of talent up there for that.
They had a lot of talent.
We also know what our talent was like too. It's going to be an exciting game.
It's going to be very exciting. Again, the Lax Night teams, there's no practice there. That's just girls coming in at the last. Do you have rib pads? Hey, do you got arm guards? I need gloves. And, it's putting a team together. Well, now these girls have had the opportunity to learn pass down, pick downs, to come across the middle, to put a check on somebody. They're getting in there. They're banging hips. It's like this, and they're doing stuff that it's like, wow. And that's because of the athletic ability. Defense playing women. This is how I see it. Women playing field defense in box lacrosse and in field lacrosse is the same style. It's cross-check defense. You can't poke at a girl, so there's no poke checks. You're riding with a girl. You're getting your stick up in the air concept, but you're riding hip to hip.
I was very interested to see how this was going to go, because I didn't think they were anything alike.
Yeah, and now the girls are like, you're telling me I can push back out, because once you break it, you can't come back out with your stick check in field. Well, now they're allowed to really play lacrosse, and be the athletes that they are. And I tell you, I'm excited. That's going to be a great weekend.
Speaking of learning and gaining things, Lily, what was it like to get to play out? So you played goalie for most of it. They threw you out on the floor. How cool is that? And did you get any points, or were you just a goon out there just trying to do your thing?
I played defense.
We could still score. Us defense people, we would still get off the floor occasionally. No, you didn't even. No.
Lily, what does defense do? They protect the house, right?
Yeah.
Protect the Lily was out there just lacing people. Get out of the middle. Get out. You're not coming into the house. And she played fantastic. It was great last year. That was against Oswego we were playing. They brought down a boys team, and we had a boys. And I think there was 3-4 of you ladies that played with the boys last year. Elena, that we had on our interview earlier in the Ayana. I messed her name up, and I apologize. But Sowich, she was on with us, and to see where she went, in regards from one year of playing box lacrosse to back to field lacrosse, her ability to now play defense was, I've talked to her father, and you want to know what? Her confidence level went through the roof. She had more.
Fact. She became one of my best friends. I talk to her every single day.
That's awesome.
She told me that ever since playing box, her confidence has gone up, and she understands things a little more.
Yeah.
It happens so fast in box, though, that you kind of, once you can process that, everything probably does seem to slow down a little bit. So switching from field to box as a goalie, that's got to be something, because your stick's in a completely different style too, though. I mean, how hard is that to switch back and forth?
It takes a day, and then I'm just kind of back into it.
Then you're good to go.
Yeah, because I don't play. I know a lot of goalies play very differently for field and box. I play very similarly for the both of them, because I just figured out what I do for box has helped me a lot in field. So pretty much the only difference is I'm flipping my stick around and I'm using my stick more. So on occasion, I'll catch myself not using my stick and like just shoulder one aside.
Just like reaching out for it, and then you're like,
I'll be like, I can't do that. And I'll back to it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not big enough really to just, you throw your arm out, and with your box gear on, you at least got a lot more protection. Your little arms aren't, it's not doing nearly as much. You got to really pinpoint it when you're elbowing it. Oh, that would be impressive to watch field
goals. Here's a question. How many, a lot more bruises in the field game than the box game?
Yeah. But still, I somehow managed to get hit in spots where I don't have pads in box.
Oh, yeah. It happens. It does happen.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot more in field.
Especially the goalie. That's just a crazy.
The $1,000 question. What? I one way or the other. Do you prefer one sport, one style of play over the other?
I like box a little more.
Basically, the speed of the game.
Yeah, and I like the competitiveness and the hitting of it. Like, I just think it's more
30-second shot clock as a goalie, though. I mean, that's got to be huge for you. You're not nearly as bored versus, what is it, 90 seconds?
90 seconds, yeah.
It moves a lot faster, which is, like, good. Sometimes it's good for the 90 because I'll, like, give time to, like, reset. But then other times I prefer the 30 where I just, like, keep going.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally 3 shot clocks inside of one. So, yeah, that's, you, and in box, how the transition goes. You could have had, 4 shots on you in that amount of time, whereas in field, it's not. And the other thing is, though, there's a lot less consequence in field when you miss the net. Like if they miss the net and you've got somebody backing it up, you're like, good. Whereas in box, you miss the net and it goes, you got it over and back. You didn't just give the ball up. You gave the ball up in the other zone, in your defensive zone to your team. There's a lot of consequence on that. And I think a lot of that goes down to the goalies. Once they kind of get in your head, you can kind of get guys to start missing the net, thinking things, holding on to the stick a little tight. How exciting is the mental game for you? I know goalies are all a little crazy, and they really do enjoy the little mental games that they play with the offensive guys. Whether it's stare down, baiting them into certain things, or just like, oh, I've got your move now. I know what you're trying to do. Yeah,
I think it's one of my favorite parts. It's just I'll figure out what they're gonna do, and I'll know where they're gonna shoot, or like I'll bait them to go one side. I'll leave one side completely open because I know they're gonna shoot there, and then I'll step over and stop it. And like you can just see them get frustrated after I stop it. So I think that's because it's like a little reward after they get frustrated when I stop it because I'm like, oh, I did a good job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. All right. Well, we really appreciate you taking the time. We've been doing this for a half hour. We got to get OJ the Dude on. Lily, where do you have like a social media presence? You want people to come follow you? You want to, everybody to cheer you on when you're out in Akron next? How do you pronounce it? Akron? Akron?
Akron.
Okay. I thought so, but I also mispronounced your name the first time, so I want to make sure we get everything nailed down. And just feel free to correct me or Paul when we say dumb things because we mispronounce a lot of stuff.
Please.
We're used to it. But yeah, go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you if they want to watch you.
I guess my Instagram at Lily A. Vera.
And next year, Division I, probably, close to the finals, you'll be able to see her on ESPN at the end, I'm sure.
Greg, I definitely want to say one thing to Lily before she takes off. Keep going with that dream. You told me before you wanted Team USA.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go. Keep going.
Beautiful dream. If I just keep working at it.
Keep going. Lily, that's what it's all about. Put the work in and great things will happen. Guaranteed.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Lily. We really appreciate you. And also a big thank you, this doesn't get said enough, to your parents. Because if people were not willing to drive you and your brother shoot on you, I'm sure all the time. So huge thank you to everybody who's gotten you this far. Thank you, Coach Jay Lax, because honestly, without him, so much of this stuff doesn't happen. He was one of the first guys I met down at Collar City. After I got hooked up with Paul, we started doing this again. There's so many unsung heroes about this.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Rock on, Lily. Keep going. We'll see you very soon.
Okay,
Premier
bye.
box lacrosse tournament in all of North America. Check it out September 18th through the 21st. We'll see you there. Thanks so much to all our sponsors. Without them, this wouldn't be possible. Please support your local sponsors. CBI cables, what the pros use. Plug them in, whether it's lighting, electrical, audio, or internet cables. The B-Dry system. Get a hold of Brandon Davis. Water in your basement, B-Dry. The Utica's finest barbershop. Get a hold of George Baldwin or Kevin Beach on Booksy. Duratagre for all your new plumbing, irrigation, and renovation needs. Family landscaping. Make your neighbors green with envy. Get a hold of Russ. Nora's Candy Shop for the famous turkey joints or just some fudge or other sweets. Stop by Nora's. Utica Club Lounge for the party before, after, during the game. Utica Club Lounge where the Yeti hang out. CRM, Commercial Rental Management. Get a hold of them for all your commercial building needs. Robert A. Dix Insurance. We all need insurance. Get a hold of Bobby Dix for your insurance. Liberty Affordable.
Back with OJ the Dude and Paul Necker as always. OJ, what is going on up in your neck of the world in Canada? Tell us about your summer box lacrosse.
Okay. So yeah, I've been watching a whole bunch of the younger kids play. So I've been to a couple U17 games. I'm going to a U15 game this week.
You're all over it. You're watching all kinds of stuff.
I am watching the future talent come up through the ranks.
That's the blast. We just had Lily on. That's going to be, keep your eye on her. She's going to be a Team USA goalie. I don't doubt it for a second. I think if that young lady sets her mind to something, it's going to happen. She seems very determined. And, I mean, you can see how I've just watched her progress, and I don't get to see her that often, but I've seen how good she is and how far along she's come, and she's shutting down, a lot of these young men. So I don't think it's a big reach at all. I think it will definitely happen. Yeah,
OJ, we're sending shots all over the bow, man. You got to, buddy. We're coming.
Well, I mean, as far as women's goes, we've got a good track record there.
Yeah, I gotta say we're doing pretty good.
OJ's got a lot to talk about, so I don't want to say too much about our women's team. But I'm pretty sure we got a pretty good track record there, and I think Lily will keep that going. She'll be undefeated at it at some point. But I do have to say 100%. I don't know. We might as well just talk some smack here. 3 years, Team USA beats Canada.
Yep.
Or not 3 years. Three more of these. Worlds.
3 more?
Yeah, I'd like to say 2, which it's possible, but I think definitely in 3 more within 12 years, we start to get this young group of kids that have been playing box for a while. American kids, because the Native American kids all play for the Haudenosaunee team.
Right.
But yeah, when we get the we're close. We're
not
close.
All.
No,
not all.
No, we've got a few.
Yeah, we're smart on that aspect. No question there. Got to grab the good ones that are still left.
I mean, Goa made the save heard around the world last year.
Around the world. Yeah, that's.
We'll take it. That finger save at the end. We got to take it. We definitely got to talk Yeti a little bit because this is called Yeti Talks. So Yeti had I would say a pretty good weekend. Obviously, the second game, didn't go the way you wanted it, but honestly, with a non-division game. You got some guys some playing time that don't always get in there. You learned a lot of concrete playing, and I got to give Paper City a lot of credit. They really did a great job pushing guys out of the middle. It was hard. You earned your spot in the middle.
Absolutely. I mean, they're oak trees, man. They came through. There's no question they're a tough team. Nobody should be looking past them. That's for darn sure. And we weren't either. We got an opportunity, like you had mentioned, to get some guys some more playing time. And they gave us an opportunity to look, similarities. We got to play on concrete. We needed some concrete play time. Oswego's coming up. Oswego's concrete. Some of these guys have never played on concrete before, so it's a good concept there. We'll say style of play. Oaks and the Spirits are a very similar style of play where they're going to let you know that it's box lacrosse, and if the officials aren't going to call it, we're going to play a little rough. It's a big boy game.
The officials are the ones that set, and they're setting the tone. And if they allow them to, that is part of the game. Is you got to learn to, to handle that kind of stuff, because that stuff is going to happen. And really, especially playoffs and stuff, these refs start throwing whistles in their pockets. Nobody likes to make that call. It's a very fine line, with how far you're going.
It all depends, and I know we talked about it. I was listening to the podcast or the stream earlier. We had touched on it a little bit. I do like this, it costs a little bit more, but on the same note, I think it helps the product on the floor a little bit, having 3 officials versus 2. In regards to
it's honestly it's too much for 2 guys to
especially on concrete
track.
Dude, that ball
is freaking
it was everywhere, and it's like trying to keep up with it.
And that's a pretty tight rink. I don't know what the dimensions are, honestly. So that place, like, if you could get a fan in there and keep my equipment cold once it's 100 degrees, we got so lucky. It was gorgeous as far as for being in there. The temperature was like perfect. That's like the ideal facility for, as far as I'm concerned, with this, with these, just because the amount of people that you pack in there, it's full. Like, you hear it. It was
loud. Everything echoes. They had a real nice crowd. They said that it was a record crowd, and I know Yeti Nation was in there because they were across from us, and I had been talking to them all day long. Yeah, and, for the junior Yeti and for the senior team. So it was great to see the parents and fans up there, and it wasn't that bad of a drive, other than the rain, but that's part of New York State, Massachusetts. We live in this Midwest or West tropical Seattle tundra. But
it was 10 minutes longer for me to get there than Utica, essentially.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
No,
so it's like going to Oneida almost.
Yeah, it's actually less time than Oneida.
There you go.
It's less, a little bit. It's definitely, I think it's like 30 minutes less, because it's 30 minutes. Yeah.
It's
30 minutes less to go on.
Great opportunity to, to get different looks and see what we got, get some experience. Like we had talked on the show itself, back to back, you got to be ready for it. As far as legs, got to get ready for it. We have another back-to-back in a couple weeks. So
that being said, a couple of your young guys, I don't think are going to play a full juniors game ahead of their senior game. But on these weekends, you got to be able to go. Like, if you go to nationals, you got to have bing, bang, boom. Yes, I know they're shorter games, but you got to be able to play like that.
Right. And again, Greg, if we're not, if we have one game on Saturday, who's to say these guys aren't going? And I want them to play as much as possible, as much box as possible. We're definitely going to hopefully work on the getting some more recruitment, but also, spread the games out, as far as maybe one. Clearly, it makes a difference. The tanks were empty at the end of the second game. You can't rightly, even when you're young and full of vinegar, I know what when you're in a humid element and you're putting everything out there. Those guys played.
When you see Hussey and Ricky starting to slow down a little bit, you're like, oh boy, it's been a long day. And I watched too, and I watched a couple of the earlier goals, and Hussey had some big highlights. Shout out to Bella for getting the end line cameras there. Yeah, she did.
How about that? The Blount behind the back, she's got the corner angle there. That was a great job, Bella.
Yeah, she nailed it.
Incredible shot. I mean, we did a lot of things.
I still barely saw where it went in. You could watch the ball. It hits the pipe, hits the goalie, goes into the net, and then the goalie spins and smacks it. But yeah,
smacks it out.
It took twice to see it. So yeah, it goes off the pipe, off the goalie, into the net. I was like, oh my goodness. How about that kid too? So OJ, these guys played against. He's the Firewolves' third string goalie.
Oh
OJ,
wow.
Yeah,
this guy you might even know this. He was good. OJ, is there a rule with how long a goalie's jersey can be? Do you think there is?
I don't think there is.
So you're telling me a goalie's jersey?
I haven't heard of one.
OJ says he's never heard of one, Paul.
I've never heard of one. I'm calling up the NLL and I need to ask because I'm utterly shocked. The goalie's jerseys were down. They covered the 5-hole. When he went down to a knee, there was no 5-hole because the jersey is covering the 5-hole. And props to the guys. That wasn't the reason we lost. They kicked the shit out of us. But
I love the honesty too.
I'm not, like I said, I'm going to call it like I see it, on the, and I hope I don't offend people. I try not to, but I got to believe there's a rule. I know there's a rule because I've heard of it before, but utilize it to your advantage. If the officials are going to let it go, then it is what it is. It's a smart move by them because it definitely helped. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, speaking of jerseys, I just pre-ordered my new Roughnecks jersey today.
You had said a couple weeks back that you was ordering up, and you got it on order, huh?
Yeah, so they just came available for season ticket members, so they were 35% off.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what would that be if it was American? Would it be like 65% off?
Pretty much, yeah, 30% thing, right? I'm trying to look up. I'm looking up the NLL jersey rules, and I'm trying to. I didn't find.
I know. Just because I've been bitching about that. You want to know what? And props. Enough of that. Props to the Paper City for hosting a great event for our junior teams and for our senior teams. But you want to know what? I want to talk about OMG, our Central New York #1 play of the week. Not the day, not the weekend, of the week was Jesse DeMays, our top 10, top 6 at 6. It'll be on the highlights. But Jesse's one-handed double spin, split the defense, one-handed no-look shot was the #1 play of the week in Central New York in the Utica surrounding market.
I didn't get to see it. Did they use our footage or did they have theirs?
How do you pull that off?
How do you pull that up? You got to get on and check out Blue Squash Productions.
Yeah, I got the short on Instagram and everything, and oh my goodness, that was it.
And that wasn't the only one. There was, I'm going to talk about our divisional game. Our divisional game was a great game against Oswego Friday night at the Igloo.
I didn't think it was possible for Oswego to get younger and faster, but they seemed to somehow do it too.
They did a nice job. And with starting that night off, Greg, I got to go all the way all in. And to Margie Decker and the Mr. Decker and the Binghamton Fire Department and Katie Gaudet and the Gaudet family. We did the best we possibly could, and you want to know what? It was beautiful. It was what the Deckers did and the Binghamton area people did, and our sponsors up here. The Oneidas had a beautiful basket. We put
Yes,
Greg,
thank you very much, Mrs. Decker, for running all that. That is a very thankless, just underappreciated job. But I tell you what, we really appreciate you. Bella does as well. She got her couple of baskets. She spent pretty much all of her 50-50 money back into the baskets. So and she had beforehand. We got I think it was the beach basket too. So perfect for us. They're fighting over the koozies. Dogs are playing with the beach balls in the house. It's been thank you very much, Mrs. Decker, because that was amazing. It really was a good thing. Melissa is always running all the stuff up there too. Thank you very much. Yeah. And but back to the game. I'm really sorry the highlights aren't working because. And let's talk about Ricky Adelson for a second. Does that kid do anything? Does he play basketball? Because he's got airtime like there's no tomorrow.
He must have back in high school, I'm guessing.
He's got to. That's all I can think of. If you haven't seen the Ricky Adelson highlights yet, go watch, and especially that juniors game the next day too. Yeah. He throws 2 more in the juniors game, and then I think by the seniors he kind of ran out of his ups. But
he was probably cramping in the calves because of the jumping that he was. Yeah, he had that fake, got the goalie, and then brought it back. Some incredible shots by Ricky.
How much time he has in the air. But you got to check out Uncle Jesse's, Owen, if you could see it. I wish I could pull it up right now, but man, oh my goodness. Uncle Jesse's one-handed goal. I don't think anybody's going to beat him for goal of the year in my book. Just that one-handed dive going across, that was amazing.
It was awesome. As far as Hussey had a great game. Mario, as far as the Super Mario coming through with 46 saves, 36 saves. One of those two. I got to look at the stats again, but
it's got to be said too, though. The biggest thing for Mario is he started the game, and he will admit those first few goals he was not happy with himself, and to be able to come back from that and correct and not let that get into your head. And that's part of what I was talking to Lily about. Was really Mario, I think, was a great example of that this weekend, though. Just being able to put your head down, do what you're supposed to do, and buckle down. I know I couldn't handle that. I'd be so mad at myself for that it'd be over. So kudos to him. Dougie Jameson said it once. He models himself after Dylan Ward because you look at him, you can't tell if they've just scored 10 goals on him or if he's got a shutout. He's got that same look on his face. He's just very even keel.
Keeps it flowing. As far as Mario and Sully work great together, as far as they talk each other through things. It's a great, if Sully is on the bench, he's Mario's number one eyes out there. So he'll let him know what he's got to do. And, they work well together, and it's been great watching those two grow as box goalies, that's for sure. And, as far as the defense, the Oswego team is damn good as well. Like you said, young. It helped us getting a little bit younger as well. Ike, the two division games has just dominated the face-off circle, and I wish I would. Maybe we'll start keeping stats on that, because it's not that hard. You just go to the after the goal, and he's facing off. Did he win? And he lose. And I want to say he probably went damn near 90% on face-offs. I mean, that's huge.
That's huge, and the biggest thing is not losing cleanly ever.
Right.
Not giving, like, even you give up one, maybe two, but like to not lose you lose 4 or 5 face-offs cleanly where they're down in the offensive zone without, a fight. That is huge.
Yeah. As far as, defensive loan, we were missing. I'm not, and again, no, 6 of our guys of our starters didn't go up to the Holyoke. So, it gave younger guys that opportunity, which was awesome. But we also had some guys getting more playing time. Sawyer Kramer got some good runs on Friday night.
Yeah.
As far as, again, getting guys in there, David Lent got some great runs, and, we were able to get him 2 runs back to back so that we could see what these guys are able to do. And, Friday night, we shined like a diamond, shine like you crazy diamond. And, Saturday, it was Saturday. As far as we had some turkey joint winners, for the sweetest goal of the
I
game.
do have to say, Bella won some turkey joints. It's the first time I've ever actually had one. Let's just say Bella did not have any turkey joints left afterwards. Those are the best things I've ever had. They were all stuck together. They got a little hot in the truck, I think, at some point. Necker had them. But I broke it apart with a butter knife, and I just sat there and drank everything out of it. Oh, my goodness. It was amazing. I literally ate the whole jar, basically.
Yeah, they're awesome. Oh, well, they got different flavors too. They got Brazil nuts, hazelnuts.
Hazelnut is the one I was slamming through.
Last year they had a peanut butter and jelly one, and that one, if you like peanut butter on the inside, the jelly is the outside, not glazing, but toffee or whatever it actually is. But it's like the fudge down there. Get the Norris candy if you're looking for some awesome candy, homemade candy.
Plus, it's online. They got an online shop. You can get a hold of them.
You can shop online as well. And the fudge, it makes you drool.
all of it is delicious. Uncle Jesse definitely
gosh.
got the sweetest goal of the weekend, probably the sweetest goal of the year. That's why Grennan's is still up there, as Grennan won it last year with that fly-in goal he had. Uncle Jesse's is probably going to get pinned up there at the end of the week. I've got to get some more Can-Am highlights up before our show.
We got to get some more shots of what's coming up. We're going to the Serpents this coming weekend. That should be a great weekend. We got.
Unfortunately, so this will be the first one that is not covered by Blue Squatch, but.
Well, I'll be taking as many pictures as I can. I got Murph going up, so I'm going to tell him do a little extra shots in there so that we get all the excitement. Playing the Serpents, Tony is head coach in the Serpents, and
former Yeti coach for anybody who doesn't know. He used to be the head coach.
Former Yeti coach, still good friends and everything. As far as
I don't know, I could hear him cheering quite loudly for Oneida at that game.
I'm sure. You want to each his own.
I just like to mess with Tony too.
It's all good. You want to what? There was time for change.
That's what makes this, everything grow like it does. Yeah. Coach Johnny stepping up. Actually, we haven't even talked about this yet. Johnny Lehman, first 2 games as a head coach, wins his first 2 league games. Oh my goodness!
Oh wow!
That is awesome for Johnny. Absolutely love it. And plus, I love the whole train Johnny comes with. The whole Lehman family is just amazing.
And Rich, hey, we can't leave Rich out.
So I actually ran into Rich on the way home too. Rich is such a nice guy that, because he turned me down for one interview, at the time because he was in the middle of something. He's apologized like 5 times. I'm like, Rich, it happens. That's why I ask, because I get people, there's all kinds of things going. Emotions are going. I get it.
Yeah.
That's why I ask guys because like I understand what people don't. But yeah, he's such a nice guy. He's apologized to me like a million times. But the coaching philosophy has definitely changed with the Yeti. Also, though, I mean, you guys have just gotten so much younger, I think, to taking these teams by storm. Nobody, I don't know if anybody was quite prepared for how fast you guys were this year. Me, even knowing a bunch of the guys that were coming in, I'm telling you, those guys got even faster. Hussey, Ricky, Blount. I mean, you guys are on it. I had a chance to talk to Randy Chrysler today too, and he was telling me how cool, how like proud he was of Zach, and because I just told him how great he's been playing for the Yeti. Yeah, so I mean,
well, if you ever talk to him again, do me a favor, throw Chris McDonald's name in there because I would love to see this kid get an opportunity. And OJ, if you know any of the guys out there in the West, there, the kid's name is Chris McDonald, and he wears number 55 on the Yeti. Take a look at that kid because you want to know what? He's everything in a bag of nuts that you're looking for in anybody's program. Drives from Maryland for 5 hours to do a 2-hour practice and drive back home. Is at every game. His family's there, and I'm similar. I'm sure it's very similar to many other lacrosse people, box lacrosse players. But this kid is one of those kids that I surely hope with he
had a
gets
chance
an
to interview him at
opportunity.
the end of that game too. He got up. The problem with guys like that is they don't always make the highlight reels because they play
Right.
defense. They get the transition. They go up. You've seen like at the beginning of last year, he really learned and developed. When to push the pace, when to not, and try to get it to the offense on the floor.
Yep.
So
I mean, he's got the Perillo type of defense. What's his name for
Steve Priolo.
Perillo, yeah, him too.
But you got Lily's name right, so you
Right?
beat me there.
I'm on fire there. As far as just one of those kids, and not just him. I mean, defensively, we've been playing very good defense. Everybody's starting to gel. Our transition has been huge. We haven't been letting up that trend. And you want to know where we got crushed a couple times was in the transition against Paper City. We got a little bit outplayed.
They
got
were
a
fast.
little bit.
They
sucked
were.
in. Yeah.
So I remember
Very
Paper
fast.
City 2 years ago at Nationals, and they were a great team then. But I do not remember them being this fast. And they had they have some serious stud athletes. I'm excited. The NABLL, every team seems to have gotten younger and faster. It seems to be the trend. Everybody knows what they needed. So it's been a lot of fun. You're watching a lot of high scoring games. It's been a blast. I'm excited with the way the NABLL has really turned out this year. I think everybody's. And OJ, did you see the shirt I was wearing today too? This was the day OJ sleeps in. I wear his Tech Lax shirt, and
I haven't seen the blue jersey on lately. I haven't seen that blue Yeti blue.
No,
I had to give you my jersey, Paul.
No, not you.
Oh, I was I used to have a sweet jersey, and then I got it confiscated.
It'll be coming back. You fret none. It'll be coming back.
It's in my practice bag. Oh, also, I saw a clip on Instagram. I'll send it to you guys. But basically, one of our junior A Mounties players, the team I worked for, on the weekend, the one player fought a goalie.
Fought a goalie?
Yeah.
Fought a goalie.
What?
Not a goalie against a goalie.
Yeah, fought a goalie.
Did the goalie win?
I think so from what I saw, yeah.
Really?
Usually goalies aren't wrapped too tight. That's not the guys you want to fight with very often. Like they intentionally stand in the way and don't close their eyes. Most people don't realize how hard that is. So when punches are coming at you, all these people think they're going to be able to like stand there and dodge them. 90% of people go like that. Like it's just it's except for those crazy goalies. Yeah, you'll have to. So everybody, make sure you check out OJ. He'll point you in the right direction. Yes, no goalie versus player. LOL. I saw a clip. Charity's all over it. She figured it out. And if she was sitting in here and had the capture card hooked up, she would probably have it up and ready to go for us. But I confiscated her computer because I was going to do the rest of the Yeti highlights, and now it's sitting next to me, not plugged in. So good call.
Yeah. So Greg, we're going on. We're on the road. We're on the road for 4 more. That was our first one up in Paper City. We're going to the Serpents. this coming weekend on Saturday night, a 5:00 game at the Geneva Rec Center. And it should be a great game. We're looking to see. I know there's a couple people that used to run with the Yeti out there. I forget his name. But anyhow, as far as they got a program up and running, and I'm excited to get out there, play them. From there, we go up to Oneida. Oneida and the Spirits had a very good game. I guess it was close at halftime.
Well, it was close at right up until halftime, and then all of a sudden the Spirits stepped on the gas pedal, and it seems like Oneida just wasn't able to stomp on the gas pedal themselves. So, yeah, I think they were actually leading up until that point. Oneida was.
Were they?
I'm not sure. Right up until like right around halftime, Jobson, which another sweet highlight. But OJ, yes, fill us in.
I got a question for you guys. Do you guys play 4 quarters there? Because I know our junior programs out here play 3 periods.
Right. Yep. So basically, everything in the United States, with the exception of Can-Am, we really like quarters. I don't know why. I think it's stupid. I am a big fan of the 3 period because you give these players 10 minutes in between. It gives the coach 10 minutes in between to talk to them. Everybody gets their heart rate back to where it belongs, and let's go. It's honestly my biggest gripe with it. I love the crease dive rules and stuff that the NLL has in the 4 quarters, and now actually a lot of the CLL and the Canadian leagues have gone around to it, which is amazing because that's what makes fans want to watch it. But I don't like only 2 minutes in between the other 2 quarters. One, that doesn't give me enough time to go get a beer, whatever I want to do in between. But more importantly, I really think it is just a better product. I wish the NLL would go to 3 periods. I really do.
Yeah. So I heard a while ago the only reason the NLL does it is because of the Americans accustomed to it.
Yeah, because we're just used to it, and it's stupid.
Yeah.
But we also like hockey. So just tell us it's hockey. We're good. We understand how 320 minutes works. Like I know what really blows my mind is when you try to tell everybody it's an hour of play time no matter what. They're like, no, that one's 15 minutes and that one's 20. I'm like, that's why there's 3 and the other one's got 4, but whatever. So
breaks are just shorter.
But I am a big fan of the 3 period of play. I'm actually interested. Throw us in the chats. Let us know what you think, if you prefer 3 or 4. Just throw the number in there and let us know. I love the 3 period. Paul, what are your thoughts on it?
I'm a 4. I like the 4 because
Stupid Americans.
Yeah, that's how I am. Thinking about what I'd love to see is maybe a series at the end of the year. Have a playoff like the and we briefly have talked about this throughout the league, and we're going to talk about it going into next season. But having a one and done at the end of the season, and then the winners 1-4, 2-3 type thing, and then winners play a 3-game series instead of just 1 games, because you want to know what, it makes it more interesting. That's for sure.
Yes, that clip right there.
Yeah, Charity found this. The goalie definitely started this one.
Yeah.
Stepped out.
Oh yeah, look at the defense is trying to stop. He's like, no, me and you are getting it.
Yeah.
He ain't waiting for him to get his arms out either.
No, did you see that kid looked over the shoulder like, is somebody coming from behind me to put me down first? And then he's like, okay, we're doing this.
See, the goalie definitely won.
The goalie's got size on him. He's got the size.
And he moves pretty good in them pads. I'm impressed.
He is throwing. I'm impressed. Throwing.
I don't make any more of these highlights, though. I will say I don't really. I try not to encourage that part of it, but I would be lying if I said I'm not interested in watching it. We all do.
It's part of the game.
It's what we like watching.
It's a goalie fight, man.
No, the only reason I don't is the leagues that I cover have made new rules that don't encourage it, so I try not to. You know, the NABLL, you grab the face mask. It's supposed to be 5 minutes in a game for fighting.
So if you throw it back, if you grab the face mask and rip it off, you don't get a 5-minute penalty. If you throw it at somebody, you don't get a penalty.
I think he was just trying to land it back on his head.
Maybe that's what it was.
He's like, hey, sorry, bud, I didn't mean to take it off you. This is yours. That's what it was. He was like, this is yours.
And, different things like that. We get rid of that shit, and you want to know what? It's going to be good. That was a rough game, and I'm not slamming officials, but
yeah.
Well, honestly, though, it's part of the growing process. As you're building it, how many box lacrosse teams play in Massachusetts?
I think there's probably, not Massachusetts alone. I'm sure they're not getting a ton of reps as far as that goes. They're probably getting one, maybe 2 games.
That's what I'm saying, though, is like, so you're getting guys, and Yeah, that's
Well,
why
you're getting field guys. What it is, and I would say probably at least 90% of the guys that are officiating have field background. I would think. I'm guessing.
so we
Strictly
need to find
guessing.
hockey refs, is what you're saying.
And Matt White. We got my head official, Matt White, and props to him. He did the Division One Final Four for lacrosse. He's a Division One hockey official. And a lot of guys. Chad Reese. Chad Reese is a Division One lacrosse official. But the problem is them coming from field, knowing the field game so good, and learning the box game. And trying to separate. The differences of them. That same with myself with men's and women's field lacrosse. If you're officiating both of
Could you
them,
imagine going from a women's field game to a box game?
I know guys that do. I know guys that do, and it's like, oh, buddy, this isn't,
what are you doing?
This isn't a women's game. It's lacrosse. It's bumping hips, but and the rules have changed over the years, so to make it safer. Well, then let's keep that safety concept in there, because I'm all for safety. And again, if somebody gets in a fight, they get in a fight. You hope the officials do what they do. I know during our game.
Well, that's the other thing, though. Is just as an official, do you really want to get in the middle of those things? I mean, I get that's why they make the big bucks, and that's why you're paying them.
They do it. Our guys jumped it. Our guys jumped it. As soon as they hit the ground, they were on top of them and making sure that fight was defused. Up until that point.
I don't even know if you'd call that a fight, though, as much of a skirmish.
No, it wasn't. But there was
hostilities.
Our guys sat.
hostilities.
I know the other one didn't. I seen somebody taking video, and there was somebody on the field that probably shouldn't have been, but I'm not saying anything.
Oh, so it's only one of those one-way suspensions. I got it.
Yeah, I'm following the book, baby.
Yeah.
That's the best way to do it. And as far as I feel good about what we did, it was the right thing, and it is what it is.
Yes. Did you see the comment right here? This is a huge, huge thing. You talk about it all the time.
Well,
I'm trying
speaking
to
of
move
it,
myself out of the way.
one thing I was watching videos today. You had posted the highlight of Coleman.
Yeah.
The one thing I do like that, and I hope they don't take that. Don't be dictating the game. If it's close, this isn't the NLL. If it's close and you visibly had a good shot at it, and Coleman, the guy didn't make the call the other day because he was behind GLE. Coleman stepped on the line. His foot was well past that diving.
I was
goal
waiting for the Instagram to blow off with that when I posted it. I said to Charity, I was like, this is sweet, but everybody's going to be like, it's no goal. It's a crease.
But you want to know what? He wasn't in position. Let the goal stand. Again,
either way, I'm a big fan of if it looks good and it's going to get me a bunch of views. And honestly, though, more than the views, it's just I get excited to see this acrobatic moves, especially Coleman. He's coaching the juniors game. He's coaching his son's hockey. He's all over the place. How he still stays in this kind of shape, I don't know. How many more of these flying goals does he have in him? I don't know that either, but I know at least that one was captured on film, and forever everybody's going to get to see it. So that's my favorite part.
The best one is him coming over the backside of the top side of the goal, going over, getting his. I'm sorry, that one will live.
I wanted to put the same sound over it. Charity said absolutely not. She's out there probably laughing at me right now. But yeah, I totally was going to use it again, and she was like, "Not a chance. Don't be an idiot, Greg." And I was like, "All right, we won't."
But you want to know what? That's just his athletic ability. That's attack.
He's a stud.
He's a stud, as far as
and same thing, he comes flying up the floor and passes it to Blount for that one. But also, I didn't even notice Blount's behind the back pass to who was it that scored that?
That was another beautiful goal.
It was Helt, I think, out front.
Helts. Yeah. Well, that was on the game earlier. That was Friday night's game. No, Friday night. Helt and no, it was the game before. That was against Oneida.
Saturday. I'm telling you.
Saturday,
yeah,
too?
I just made it this morning, I think, or last night.
Okay,
Blount throws it behind the back to Helt and freaking out front, and Helt buries it coming in. Big kid, right? Helt's a big kid, wears a white field helmet.
87. Yeah. As far as, again, a lot of great things. so much happened this weekend. It was incredible. Between the JR Gaudette, getting all those.
It's going to get bigger every year. Hopefully, we can do a actual
tournament.
Tournament.
We're going to get a tournament going. At
we need
some
to
point,
get people together for it. Me and Paul, honestly, what we lack is organizational things. We are not the most organized group of boys, which you might find hard to believe because somehow we managed to pull this off.
I got an iPad and I got computers. I got this and that. And you want to know what? I just need to talk to people and be able to text. I can't do the other stuff. That's here's a great example. This right here. I don't know
Put
if
it in
you
front of
can
you.
see it.
There you go.
There.
Yeah.
6 hours. 6 hours that took me.
It is very beautiful, though, Paul. It
is.
Yeah, it is.
But 6 hours. That is
sounds
somebody
like you
that
gotta
knows
have
what
OJ make your graphic.
Somebody that knows what they're doing. That's probably an hour's tinkering around type of thing. Maybe not even that, but it's what it's all about. It's enjoying being able to talk to somebody on the West Coast, being able to talk to somebody down in Albany. Where's sugar? I closed my iPad, so as far as
we've got people from all over. You got people from Troy in here. We've got people from Massachusetts. I love it. It's we say it all the time. The best part about this is the people we get to meet, the relationships you get to make, and the highlights and all the great stuff. Beauty takes time.
we got the creator of Robbie the Robot with us, man. How awesome is that concept? Where a kid gets to come to World and be around us and hang with us on a weekly thing. Sometimes we got to wake him up because he was tired today.
And meanwhile, he's the one 3 hours behind us.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a long day. But that's what this whole experience has been. It's been a great experience. The meeting
he does
of
have
people.
a Mountain Dew shirt on for you, though, Paul. Did you see
I
that?
was sitting there. I couldn't quite tell.
Baja Blast, man.
Yeah,
Baja Blast. I love it.
But you got to go full green, baby.
I'm a Taco Bell Baja Blast guy myself.
Well, it's 8:45 at night, and I just tapped my second 2 liter of the day.
I'll get a random text from Paul at midnight tonight. Hey, I couldn't fall asleep. I wonder why.
I mean, I just bought a new Slurpee cup that's like 1.4 liters. So
that's a big one, huh? That's
I bought that today at 7-Eleven. So
oh man,
it's a good day. It's a great day. Great things going on in box lacrosse and field lacrosse, and in the USA and Canada around.
And if anybody didn't get a chance to watch the games this weekend, we run the Yeti games on the Yeti channel just because sometimes Blue Squatch has other things, so that way we're consistently on that channel. So for all your Yeti games, go to there. I do upload the highlights onto mine because I absolutely love the highlights. It's literally the reason I do this. I love making those. Like, it's my favorite part. And like I can't even post a bunch of them. I was sending a bunch of Paper City. I sent them to these kids. I'm like, here, go ahead and post these. Tag me if you want to. Don't tag me. I don't care. But this was a sick goal. You're, an amazing athletic move.
I want to know, is it a glitch? I'm sitting there and I broke down in tears earlier because I'm watching the game, and then all of a sudden they're talking like this, slowly with the serve. I'm dying. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's funny.
I still don't. I did the same thing earlier. I was like, how did that even happen? So, I mean, if you really want to understand, when the file comes in for the replay, it has our audio attached. So when it's showing it, that's playing in the background, and I mute it. I didn't unmute that one. I have no idea how it digitally just unmuted for a second and then was like back to normal. I was like, I didn't click the button or unclick it again, so it muted itself again somehow too. But yeah, I sat there forever looking through the OBS system trying to figure out how that happened, and yeah, that must have just been, you know what? We had a whole talk on the ride home about paranormal. I told them they're all crazy. There's no such thing as ghosts, so that's probably what happened. They're like, oh yeah, take that one, Greg.
That's it. Take that Massachusetts ghost back with you. What are you talking about?
Yes. Yeti jersey and Mountain Dew green next year. Paul, we need to get Mountain Dew to sponsor you. I love that comment. Yeti jersey and Mountain Dew green next year. That would be sweet. Oh, yeah. We'll get some Dew.
We're going to be the next year is New Jersey year, so
there we go.
there's some always ideas out there. If you take a look at this here color, what's it say? It says that's kind of
Make your
Yeti
move.
green. There to make your move. That's what they're telling us. They want to see the Mountain Dew green.
They want to see it. Yeah,
that's awesome.
So,
awesome.
Do you guys want to talk about any other lacrosse leagues while we're up here? I mean, we've been doing this for an hour and 15 minutes. We try to keep the show to 45 minutes, but yeah, we are not very good at that. We have no problem getting carried away.
Well, Greg, I'm excited in regards to the NABLL. I'm seeing some highlights. Props to Nate Jobson. I'm going to throw it out there. The kid put out a freaking fantastic.
Everybody has to go check that out. I thankfully Watchmore tagged me in it, and he was like, "You got to see this," and it was absolutely, or they did, but yeah, that was gorgeous.
I gotta hope that defenses, specifically ours, he makes a move. I hope there's a slide coming in, and we're putting him on his keister. But it was an incredible move.
It was
absolutely.
No, Paul says we got to do in-person podcast before the end of the season. It would be. You think we could just pre-record this? We'd be like, "Hey, we're gonna go meet and sit down and do this, and we'll let it go at night." And we're always like, "Nah, Monday night after we're trying to finish everything from the weekend, and we throw this together at the last minute."
All I gotta say is we take on the Manning brothers. That's we got such confidence and swagger that the Manning brothers have competition.
I don't know. Are you talking about the football Manning brothers?
Yeah, the football. Peyton and Eli, they do their ESPN Monday Night Football, and we're competing against them.
Yeah,
there we go.
Honestly, I cannot understand for the life of me why box lacrosse is not more popular than football. I think I'm willing to bet you I hope it's my lifetime, but I don't know if it will be. But at the rate everything's going, the way like our school doesn't have a varsity football team anymore, you're going to see more and more of that happening. Box lacrosse players, like if you don't have public funding, football disappears. Box lacrosse has found a way to do this without any school money. It's going to continue to grow, just like hockey, who didn't have a lot of school money. Like a lot of that stuff is. Yeah.
OJ, do they have box lacrosse in the schools up in Canada? So your high school, do they have a box team?
They teach it in gym, but most of the kids from the time they're like U9s are playing organized box lacrosse.
Okay, so there's field lacrosse teams, or but the box concept up in Canada is still the club level.
Canada's the only place where when you say lacrosse, they assume it's box.
It's
like
box,
they don't call it box lacrosse. They just call it lacrosse. And if you're talking field, you would have to say field. Whereas everywhere else in the world, for the most part, you have to say box lacrosse.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is if we get more and more Americans into it, and when the Americans are getting closer to like 30-40% of the NLL, that's when you'll see us start to overtake the NFL. That's what they want to watch. They want to watch American guys. That's the same reason everybody watches the NFL. Too. You want to watch.
They're watching the PLL, and in regards to
that kid's. That's because that kid's a genius, though. That freaking what the hell's his name? Rabel.
Yeah, Rabel.
Yeah, Paul Rabel. Honestly, he's one of the. Everybody wants to talk about he's an amazing lacrosse player, and he is. He's probably in the top 50. But I honestly think he's way overrated as a lacrosse player, and as a business person, he's one of the most underrated marketing entrepreneurs of our age. Like, you look what that kid did from the time he was young and just built his brand, and him and his brother have really taken it by storm. Like, he is one of the most underrated entrepreneurs of our, like, the sport of lacrosse owes so much to that guy. Like, everybody was mad at him too. They're like, you're splitting it up. It's like, no, he gave players rights. He signed this set and everything else. He made himself a little money along the way. He also screwed himself big time. He lost his New Balance contract because he did the right thing by the players. And no, I'm a big fan of Paul Rabel. I do think he's slightly overrated as a lacrosse player, but that's what the NLL needs, though, is you need somebody like Paul Rabel who grabs it by the horns and does all this and does all the marketing, who just goes in and gets the meetings. So Paul Rabel's following, his personal following, is bigger than the NLL, but that's because Americans have this huge market. And that guy spent 10 years with nobody, hardly anybody, then some people, then a little more, and then the next thing you know, he's got a huge following. but he put everything up.
He wanted to put a lot of money back in, like you said, back into the players. Jake, the NLL.
Look at where the league has gone compared to since he's done it. So like just
But
since
on the same note, Greg, if you're saying that, take a look at it this year. How many of the box guys said, "Screw you, I'm going back to box, and I'm going to go play in for the Chiefs, and I'm going to go." Those guys. There's not a lot. Yeah, but how many are actually playing? Charlie Bertrand did it. As far as how many of these guys want to be in the airport 48 weeks of the of a 52-week year. That's the dedication that they got to have of wanting to play. But on the same note, there's, I don't know, the game, they're pushing the field game to speed it up to a box style game.
Yeah.
They want the speed. They're trying to emulate.
Look what they've done
to the Olympics.
Yeah.
You made it into sixes. What's sixes? Sixes is box without a box.
Well, not just that, but it's sixes. I think more than that levels the playing field for some of these other countries. I think that's part of the reason that they did it, because your top 1 through 5 Canadian, American, Haudenosaunee players are not as far apart as people like to think. Your top 5, like the very top 5. There's less difference between the top 5 than there is between 50 or between 20 and 50.
It also comes down to the amount of players. You can only have each country can only delegate so many players to go. You can't have a 30-man roster for going to the Olympics. So you had to shrink your bench down. Even the PLL doesn't have a 30-man. What do they have? Probably a 22, 23, 21-man roster. Now they've shrunk that down to 12, 15 guys.
Yeah.
So it's all basically a numbers game, and what that does is it is going to limit the amount of great players that are able to play for Team USA, Team Canada. But it's also going to make those players that are pretty darn good in Australia and England and France and all those other countries. Uganda, I think, even has a team. South Africa has a team. Those teams obviously are going to be on the lower brackets, working them way up. But these teams now, their top 6 are. They're comparable. They're comparable.
It'll get way closer. Then it'll get way closer, faster. It'll be way more competitive.
But you're gonna see scores of 40-2.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. They want to see highlight goals. Yeah, you want to see highlight goals. You want a highlight goal is when you have a square this big and the guy's diving behind his back, letting one go backwards because it's in a 4x4.
But the best part is they don't even see the square that big. They have to reach around and hope that the square is there.
Because the stick has eyes. Because the stick has eyes on a 6x6, a 6x6 with a goalie that has no padding on. Now you got no defensemen. You have defensemen, but they got short sticks. You don't even have long poles. That's what I don't like about it being a long pole. I'm like, man, that kind of sucks. As far as I want to play my position instead of with a short stick. I want to be able to tool up and down. You take a shot, you miss the net, it goes out of bounds. It's going the other way. And that's going to speed it up. But is that lacrosse?
It will be eventually, I guess.
Well, I guess. But
I don't know. I hope not. I like box too much.
I do too. But again, it's getting better in the States, and you're going to see more and more. I can't wait to Laxney. Can you imagine what Laxney is going to be this year? It's going to be even bigger.
Each year
we got four rinks. Props to Connor and Scott Neese and bringing the North American Laxney tournament back to Utica, and it's only bigger and better. It's going into the odd this year, so they got 4 rinks that they're running, and I think they're also talking at least about putting the rink outside as well. So possibly 5 rinks in one location. That especially inside the odd. Now that they got the new lights on the boards and everything, the boards are it's incredible. OJ, you got to watch that game. I'm going to make the announcement now, just because now we're talking about it. Our game against the Thousand Island Spirits is inside the odd. So we got a lot of great things planned for the July 11th. A lot of great things. I know the Spirit are going to be fired up to be playing where the World Championships were actually held is going to be awesome. So excited about that one. Can't get more fired up for our next set of games. And, you're talking box lacrosse. It's 10 o'clock. I got another full beer in me. We could go to midnight now, like you had said. But,
before we go, Necker.
Yeah.
I have to make some shout outs because I just introduced my first brand ambassador, who's an amazing goalie out here in Calgary.
Uh-huh.
My buddy Jonas Taylor. He's going to be repping some stuff and is my first Tech Lacks ambassador.
Nice.
Congratulations.
That's awesome, bro. That is awesome.
Yeah, and the other thing I was going to say is I'm getting a package full of all sorts of goodies. I'll probably go live tomorrow or Wednesday.
So everybody tune in to OJ the Dude. Are you going from Tech Lacks, right?
Yeah.
So Tech Lacks on Instagram. You're going on Instagram when you say you're going live, or you're going on YouTube?
Yeah, I'm going on Insta.
All right, so he'll be on Instagram. If you're on the social media, make sure you're tuned into Tech Lacks. Check him out. What else you got for us, OJ?
That's basically it. The package is coming from my buddies out of Texas at Six Feathers Lacrosse.
Boy,
Nice.
OJ he's friends with everybody. I tell you, I thought when we went to Worlds, there was a chance I might know a couple more people. We're in Utica. It's, basically home field advantage for me. And I'm walking around and everybody's like, hey, OJ, who's your buddy? And I was like, are you guys kidding me? Everybody loves OJ the Dude. What do you got to do?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Hey, OJ, there is a chance that you're possibly coming out for
Lax Night. Yeah, we got to working on a few things. Hopefully we can get everything settled up here. More to come on that soon.
Yep.
Paul Decker, I got to go to bed. I'm exhausted. But I love it. Paul's like, yeah, I'm still good. I got my Mountain Dew in me. Let's go
Greg,
for a couple more.
I'm getting phone calls, and I wish that I got to respond to the person at some point in time. They're saying if you need help with that type of stuff, give me a call. And you know what? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, whoever it is. I'm going to reach back out to you. But as far as I think they're talking about my social
media,
social skills of putting together all the sponsors here. But it's fun doing it. It just that's not my forte.
You're a facilitator.
I'm a facilitator. I love what I do, and I can't be thankful enough for guys like OJ and you, Greg. And I keep telling my Yeti guys in the locker room, fellas, I can't. I take my hat off every time, and I mean it honestly. Is without them, there's no this.
No, it's
a players' league, and that's what we're trying to do is promote the players and give them a little bit of a voice concept. You do a great job, Greg, with the interviews. I'm loving the interview concept. That's something that
2 junior kids I forgot to put up today.
Yeah, well, as far as a shout out to CBI hooking us up with some awesome cables.
So we no longer are messing with wireless. So now we just have super long CBI cables. Plug them in. It's what the pros use, and now I can see why. Because it's one less thing I have to worry about. I run that cable. I'm not worried about it glitching on or off. I know if I've got the distance, which thankfully I did not realize it came that long either. So I've got a 100-footer. We got a 50-footer. We can basically stretch everywhere except for at the odd. I've still got to figure out what we're doing there because that is the distance.
I'm sure the odd has some little
tricks up their sleeve for us.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some lower level plugins that they've got goosed up to the upstairs. But that's going to be an awesome time there. There's no question.
I'm excited.
And again, the Utica club, I can't thank Mamet and Amel enough for letting Chad Plants and the Wizard do some awesome jamming inside the rink on
they're
on
fun.
Friday
Hayden
night.
was great week before.
Hayden was awesome. And again, it's awesome doing what I'm doing, and I enjoy what I'm doing. I hope nobody takes offense if I speak my mind on some things, but them damn jerseys are illegal. Illegal. Anyhow, Yeti Nation, we love you. We're gonna be in Sackets, or not Sackets Harbor. Yeah, we will be there too, but we're gonna be in Seneca. We're going to Seneca.
Seneca Lake
We're going to
Serpents.
Seneca. We're going down to see Seneca Lake down at the I believe it's the Geneva Rec Center. It's called. It's the Hobart rink, and it's a beautiful facility. Games at 5:00. That means you'll be out by probably 7:30, 8:00, and hopefully the weather is beautiful and we can have some beers down at the Serpents sponsor and sit by the lake and watch the sun go down and hopefully get ourselves a victory on the road. We need to crack that mold this year, and this is the time to do it.
All right, Yeti Nation, we'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I guess I should point at the camera.
For the famous turkey joints or just some fudge or other sweets, stop by Nora's Utica Club Lounge for the party before, after, during the game. Utica Club Lounge, where the Yeti hang out. CRM, Commercial Rental Management. Get a hold of them for all your commercial building needs. Robert A. Dix Insurance. We all need insurance. Get a hold of Bobby Dix for your insurance. Liberty Affordable Housing. New to the area? Get a hold of Liberty Affordable Housing. See what they can set you up with. Eric Kiefer, LUTCF, local representative and friend of the Utica Yeti. Fay Farms, where's the beef at? Jimmy Fay's got it. Get a hold of Fay Farms for all your beef needs. Master Vito Hyundai, make your move to Master Vito. The Yeti have. Utica Mac Incorporated. Get a hold of them for all your tractor and big hauling needs. Brand Y Distillery. Let Jimbo know that the Yeti sent you. We love Brand Y spirits. Hale Transportation. We'll do the driving, you do the hanging. Get a hold of us for all your transportation needs. Nyscoba, the men in blue, keeping you safe. Clinton Tractor and Implement Company, the Caledona family. Check them out. Laxnide, the premier box lacrosse tournament in all of North America. Check it out, September 18th through the 21st. We'll see you there. Thanks so much to all our sponsors. Without them, this wouldn't be possible. Please support your local sponsors. CBI cables, what the pros use. Plug them in, whether it's lighting, electrical, audio, or internet cables. The B-Dry system. Get a hold of Brandon Davis. Water in your basement, B-Dry. The Utica's finest barbershop. Get a hold of Jordan Baldwin or Kevin Beach on Book C. Durategre for all your new plumbing, irrigation, and renovation needs. Family landscaping. Make your neighbors green with envy. Get a hold of us. Nora's Candy Shop for the famous turkey joints or just some